racism is everywhere and it's institutionalized. We cannot really be racist because racism is prejudice plus power. Nothing I say up here nor anywhere in the world will impact stop front.
All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the beatzillapdx official news break. And this one comes out of Houston. There's one thing that I guess you could look on the screen and already know what we have to say. We are talking about the civil rights generation. It's now sounding like MAGA 2.0. And it's a low-key MAGA vibe. Of course, on the kind of sambo-ish and tap dance-ish side of the game. But nonetheless, they are looking to go back to some old ways. So I wanted to break down this conversation that they had on this particular news program out of Houston. Fair use, because this is a teaching moment, and we have to examine the mind state of some of our elders that are of the civil rights generation, of the black church ilk, what have you, the societal, or I guess the accepted into white society types, those type of individuals. And that's what we're talking about. In other words,
got to watch these old niggas.
With that being said, let's go ahead and start it out right off the bat. Please like and share. Please like and share. Please like and share.
And welcome and thank you for joining us on the second half of The Factor Uncensored. Now, earlier this week, we had an honest discussion here about seeing young black people involved in all the crime in Miami during spring break, video after video, from murders to vandalism. We want our panel to address it. If there is a problem in the black...
Now, see, now here's something that's going on already that's kind of off. You're talking about, you're in Houston, and now here you are talking about violence going on in another state. So it's out of context, number one. So it would have made more sense for something going on in Houston to be reported on in this instance, because you have a panel up here talking about violence in the black community. I don't think so. But anyway, I mean, nonetheless, in the field of journalism and reporting, this also is still, I guess, kind of riding the line there, but whatever. In any event, we're talking about violence that went on over spring break, which technically you have so many different factors going on in that spring break thing. So to just say we have a violence issue, there's been violence that has happened at spring break events throughout all kinds of environments, especially the non-black ones. So I don't even understand where they're getting off with this conversation. Well, I do, but nonetheless.
Community, but most importantly, how do we fix it? Solutions. You've seen the video time and time again where Miami was slapped with a lot of violence during the spring break. Tonight, we brought our guests back. We started this conversation earlier this week. They're back addressing this problem. Radio host Claver Kamal Imani, Dr. Ruth Allen Olison, and Waller County Constable Herschel Smith are all here again. So last time we talked, Claver, we were talking about trying to find solutions. We all acknowledge there is an issue that we need to address. We talked about family. We talked about the church. We talked about parenting may be part of the problem. So how do we address it when we see so many young black people involved in crimes like that, where they're attacking and vandalizing a car, committing murder on camera, just shooting?
Now, again, this is a lot of that convoluted conversation. I can't help but notice at the timing as well that they are trying, when it's coming to violence, they keep trying to do flat blackness. If you also understand what else has been going on, people don't want us to delineate, right? Excuse me. People don't want us delineating as a particular group because, hey, as you have to start identifying different groups that are committing acts, you might find that foundational Black Americans are on the lower spectrum of those numbers than you would like to admit. So I just gotta wonder the timing of this. Don't miss that, family. Let's see. Okay.
Shooting each other. It's just mind blowing and hurtful to see as well. But how do we start addressing this, Flavor?
The first thing I think we need to do, first of all, Isaiah, thank you for the invitation.
And they're gonna get
But
back to that parenting thing.
Can we start at the root of the problem?
Go to the root.
Think about what spring break was supposed to be, what it originally started out as. It was supposed to be about college students that were getting away after, let's say, their midterms, or to unload some steam, or to get ready and
Like the Girls Gone Wild videos. You guys remember those? MTV at Cancun, spring break. MTV in Las Vegas, spring break. Spring break and Freaknik and all of this. This is pretty much have been that. Black Bike Week or Beach Week, whatever that is out there. I believe that was Carolina or Virginia. One of the two. But, it's just funny what he's talking about. When they start doing these kind of conversations, it's like you're referring to what white people have accepted, and you're getting away from the cultural differences when Black folks are going to get together. Not to say it's negative, it's just different. And so you're putting a negative connotation on when Black folks show up versus this is what spring break was originally intended. College students. Are you referring to Black college students too? Because that's what these spring breaks are.
relax and decompress before they go back to campus to deal with midterms and certainly finals. That's what it was supposed to be at the very beginning. I'm having a hard time believing that a lot of these kids that were down in Miami Beach are college kids.
Ooh. Now, see, when you start doing that, that's when people gonna start wondering if you got biscuits on your breath. Because yeah, that one right there, brother, that ain't okay. That is not okay at all. I'm not sure that all of them were students. Oh, really? What gives you that impression, brother? I would really want to know what's the determining factor that made you say, I don't know if all of them are necessarily college students. Well, all right.
If that's the behavior of our college kids today, I don't want to be around when they're holding the reins of control of this country. If that
Whoa. Really? Ooh wee. Really? Well, so you'll be perfectly okay with this though. Asking for a concerned parent and grandparents. But you're good with this. Okay, got it. I got it. All right.
is the behavior of college kids today. I'm not very sure that the ones that were causing the trouble in Miami Beach are actually enrolled at any university anywhere in the United States. I think.
Wow. Dude. Family. Is this dude for real? See, now this is when you start getting into this conversation, it's people like this that make other folks, non-black folks, feel very comfortable talking negative about black folks, especially black youth. Do not miss that he is targeting a certain generation, a certain demographic, by the way, that also could be potential voters as well. You know, just saying.
A lot of them were outsiders that were causing problems. That doesn't diminish the fact that what you saw in the video images were majority of black kids. And what I started talking about on Monday were 4 institutions that I really think need an MRI or an X-ray and a readjustment, a re-attitude about what their role really is. The capital C Church, governance, education, the big education complex, Big Ed, and parenting skills, the role and obligation that parents have in this day and time to be able to direct their child, as the constables say, in the
Do you hear what these people are talking about? The big C. So number one, get you right back into that church. So they want you on Christianity. And that's why you lost your way. Because you haven't been in the black church that has lost its way. This is the place of faith that told you it made more sense to rely on man's invention and then calling man's hands miracles. I mean, I heard that with my very own ears, saw that with my very own eyes, said before me, as they said that Anthony Fauci was used as a miracle by God. And I'm hearing black folks saying this. You understand me?
way that they should go, and when they get old, they don't depart. I think we're very far away from that. The church.
Hold on. See, this is my problem with that generation right there. And this is the baby boomer generation. So the generation before us and the older, the generation before us, because we would be Generation X. And so just looking at his perspective, it's the baby boomer perspective. Basically, we want to look like the best black person we could be for everyone else. And these little young hellions are screwing everything else up for us. They are making us look bad before white mommy and white daddy. And this is shameful. This is how we got here in the first place. So you can't say church is your answer, and then we got to get back to parenting. You need to get to some generational responsibility, because your generation has been an absolute failure for the future. And that part, you want to go back to something. That's something you want to go back to, is how you got us here. Let's fail some more.
Pastors, especially black pastors in mega churches, should be addressing from the pulpit, from a biblical perspective, the social ills that we're seeing consistently and constantly.
Okay, so he's asking, he's going to throw something out there that he understands full damn well mega church pastors can't do. Those mega churches cannot talk about those social issues, because what they say, social issues, it's political. Because they'll make it political, and there goes the topic right there. See, what he is doing is low-key leading you into another cycle of nowhere. So he's presenting an idea like, oh man, look at where it is now. It's just totally deteriorated. Here is my proposal for change. Let's revert back to everything that already has spun out of control to get us here in the first place. But yeah, family, Let's go back to the black church that has turned its back on its community just like this generation did, and like he is demonstrating out of his own mouth right now. What he's telling you is these little young hellions are not worth anything because their parents weren't a damn. So again, crapping on the Generation X, the ones that's because this baby boomer, remember, baby boomer is also the height in fatherless homes. That's not Generation X. That is the baby boomer generation. All the absentee father talk, that comes from their generation. It's so funny. They're the generation of absentee fathers and broken homes, and they talk about other people as if that wasn't them. No, that's your generation, folks. You and the generation right before you. Please.
On an
Negro.
epidemic level, if you will, and the pastors aren't doing that. Number two, the governance. The idea of our government is actually pushing the anti-biblical ways that made this country great, the anti-constitutional ways that made.
Wait. Hold on. Make our country great. You're hearing, when people make alternate phrases to mean the same thing, and he just said it twice within seconds. That's not by accident. That is not by accident at all, family.
This country great. Education, the fact that it's no longer education but indoctrination, a decline in outcomes which you can trace back to the actual inception of Department of Education. The United States government should have no role in education at all. Education is not mentioned in the Constitution at all. And of course, parenting, I believe every black person understands the problems that we have in the black community when it comes to parenting, because most of the times it's just one.
All right, let's.
Wow. Man, this dude sound like Tucker Carlson. So clearly this cat is on some right-wing, conservative Sambo talk. But that there's some of this going on. They're bringing these people out too. Grassroots, COINTELPRO tactics, Sambo style.
Bring Dr. Ruth into this when he talks about the issue about
this
church
is really gonna
involvement
get good.
and not
Listen
having
to this.
enough involvement. We know, and I've seen over decades, churches giving, the smart kids scholarships, and because they apply for it. What more can the church do to reach those who may be troubled, who may be in these videos that we're seeing in Miami where they're vandalizing and committing murder before they get to that point?
Yeah, I think we have to get more involved in terms of reaching out.
Now, where she is about to go next, family, let me tell you something. Oh Lord, I had to do this. I had to do a video on this because when I seen this, I'm like, she can't be serious. She cannot be serious. But what this woman is about to go into, when I say the civil rights generation is now sounding like MAGA 2.0, yeah. You just heard the first black man speak. Now you from hear from the black woman of that same generation.
I think too often we are inside the walls of the church. But the church, Jesus said, go and tell. And we also have to go and teach. I'm really moved by the fact that over the past 2 days since we've been here, I listened to a lot of young people. And actually a group of them passed by the church and I asked them, what is going on with young people? What do you need? Did you see what happened in Florida? What do you think? And so I listened to them and they said, we need love. And I think they do need.
Cap. See, this is one of the things, I think this is a thing they teach you in seminary or something when you're learning how to be a preacher. They teach you how to tell these bullshit stories that, anybody in their right mind should know it's not true. But, for all intents and purposes, it serves as an inspirational point in their message or sermon. And so these people will instill these fictitious feel good stories, or in this case, do like the politician, So it's like, yeah, I met the one man I stopped and got a pizza in Youngstown, Ohio, and the man serving me my pizza said, the one thing that I think young people need today, they need more love. We need love and education. I'm a young person myself, and I'm out. Man, please, you hear these stories all the time. So I'm just saying right now, Cap, that's Cap. This story is not true, lady. I don't believe a group of young people. Number one, who's just standing out in front of a church on a random weekday? And I asked them, did you see the thing in Florida? What do you think young people need today? We need more love. This is why you people are failing. Because, see, you are dealing with a way more intelligent generation. So when they see that the something that you are offering is actually nothing, then you have participated in stripping hope away from them, because you're selling them a bill of goods that you cannot deliver on at all. Not only that, you are still looking down and talking condescending toward that particular generation. So how can you offer love to people that you have already support, from the man before her and this man, and then the middle one's a cop? You are showing nothing but a banner of disdain for Black youth, which again, in Florida, it's a strong chance that a lot of those individuals were immigrants to begin with, because we do know that those random deletions, those were immigrants. So this is a conversation that really does not have anything to do with our community. They're trying to lump this other violence, this third world violence, these folks off of, yeah, they Black. I'll give them a melanated skin. Yes, yes, yes. They are not us, and they are not of our lineage. That is not of our culture. Their violence comes from where they came from. And these people here, these and you Pan-Africanists, you aid into how we look here by doing that. I hope you know that.
Love, and I think they do need discipline. And I still, I'm wearing this yellow because a few years ago, there was a young lady who wore a yellow dress in Baltimore, but she had told her son.
Now, she's up there wearing yellow because she's representing the mother in Baltimore. And remember that woman that went to the George Floyd, got her kid up out the George Floyd protest? It was not a riot, but it was a protest. They weren't out there damaging anything, demolishing anything. And she went up there and whipped him and embarrassed him in front of all of them people and the world to see, because she was so much thought she was a Christian doing the Christian thing, which is absolutely cowardice and treasonous. And he is a young man, and you went out there to buck break your son before the world. Ooh, congratulations. I'm wearing yellow in representation of buck breaking.
Do not go to this riot. And she saw
Protest.
an image of him. She didn't even see his face, but she was so in tune to her child that she recognized his form. And she went down and beat the hell out of him and took him home. He was supposed to be at school. And so we need some discipline.
While being on a forum, just look at the title. Solutions to violence in the black community. This black woman came up on this particular platform to do what? Champion violence against black men, black boys especially. That's why she wore yellow. Out of her own mouth. That's what she just said. The reason why she's wearing yellow is to champion that woman who went out to Baltimore and told her son, don't you go to that riot. That protest that was actually about one of Houston's very own, who was untimely taken away by that racist demon, Derek Chauvin. This type of thing here, when you just hone in on young black people, this feels like early 1992. This type of talk is the setup for a new crime bill. Are you seeing the play? Well, you know, your black leaders. I mean, look at this interview from Houston. Look at that woman. She done seen a lot. And you know, she be knowing what she's saying. I mean, shoot, it ain't really all of the police all the time doing harm to us. Sometimes we are our own worst enemy.
Now, am I saying we need violence? No, I'm not. But there is
Yes,
a
you
proper
are.
role for discipline for young people, and it has to start early, because once a tree gets so big, there's not anything you can do. You got to train them up in the way that they should go, and then they will not depart. So yes,
Then shouldn't you be training your children up in the mind of empowerment versus inferiority? See, I'm gonna point out something here. What they want, and as you see, both of them have this energy against black identity. See, they're upset that people are shaking the apple cart. So you can see this is a whole boule filled panel, and they're venting about the black community and their disdain for it. I just want y'all to understand, black faces on TV saying they represent your community. But at the same time, all of this conversation that they have, there is no love in anything that they are talking about.
church needs to be involved, and we need to even do parenting class. How do you parent? We have too many children who are raising children, and so absolutely.
What the hell is she talking about? Has this woman came to this century yet? We have children raising children. Ma'am, the children that when I was hearing that line, those children's children have children in school. I mean, I could literally say that right now. The hell are you talking about, woman? See, this is again, man, it shows the disdain. There's a great disdain for young black people from this generation. And it's because we're talking empowerment and they were talking about rolling over. Assimilation is the name of their game. Integration is what they were taught. We're taught, let's build something for ourselves so we don't have to be up under somebody. And in their line of thinking, they want to train you up. See, first up, what's that part? Training you up. So they want to get you back to being just like they were. They almost dead. What stake you got in this? You got one foot in the grave. What you worried about? damn sure ain't the
There is a
benefit
role
of
for the
our
church.
future.
Constable Smith will come back with you after this break. We'll continue this conversation. Don't go anywhere. We're talking about how can we save young black people who may be involved in violence that we've seen in the Miami incident. Stay.
What is being black and in violence? What is being in violence? What the hell does that even mean? What being in violence? See, this I can't stand these folks sometimes, family. I'm telling you, all this lovey-dovey and forgive. Hell no, this is high treason. This is high treason. In violence? What the hell is that?
Got to watch these old niggas.
Whew, Lord.
With us here on The Factor. And welcome back to The Factor, Uncensored and open and honest conversation tonight. We're still looking for solutions to excessive violence that happens at the hands of some black people.
Man, as a black man in America, you should know way better than even to be up here having this conversation like that. And then you come in, you enter the segment by talking about excessive violence. Like black people are excessively violent. Not all black people. But some black people are excessively violent. I ain't never heard this about these white folks. They stormed the damn Capitol. They just recently lynched a man down there in Mississippi. What the hell is you talking about in Houston, Negroes? I mean, this is treason on 1,000. They are literally saying, man, there's going to be a little more too. Man, whew, this is painful.
Panelists are here to continue our discussion. Right now, we're going to go to Constable Herschel Smith from Waller County. When you look at the video and you saw what was happening in Miami, so many young black people involved with vandalism, murders there, your thoughts?
Man,
what do you see as a solution to save that generation?
First of all, you know, when we sending our children out to out of state, going party, you got to have a courageous conversation with your children.
Here's another problem. And he's a policeman. Why is he talking about a group of adults? There are no children present in these spring break facilities or festivities, because you've already identified the events going on is around a college. And I don't believe any minors you would be sending your minor teenager out to spring break just to be out there like that. I don't know any responsible parent that's doing that. So listen to how they're referring to these people as children. Children. It's children. But here's the duality of it. And him as an officer, he knows better. The white media and the law down there is always what's the first thing they do? Even with the little 6-year-old boy that shot his teacher out there in Newport News, they called him a young man. Trayvon Martin, young man. Tamir Rice, young man. And these people, see, here's the thing. They're not, okay, think what they just said. Training up your children. These are adults. What are you talking about now? You're still trying to treat them as children with no decision-making skills. Like and you're talking about adults as if they're 3-year-olds. But when that world is out there, they're going to treat them exactly as what they are, adults. So you're saying our children are children. Look at what they want the mentality they're pushing on black youth. Remain children. So they want you to stay in an arrested development state but then know what you're going out there and getting up against. Man, again, high freaking treason.
You don't have a courageous conversation with them. I remember my son one night at homecoming at Preview, and I told him, I said, son, I said, stay away from the bad kids.
Really, dude? So you are coming out of this is disgraceful. So now, not only taking digs at the black, putting labels on the black community, now you're saying there is such a thing as bad black children. Why the hell would anybody want to be taking cues from this group? I mean, yeah, let us help. You don't have no concern for this generation. You hate this generation. Stop it. And not only that, though, what does that also say? This police officer has no concern about black unity at all. He's not concerned about the black community. He is only concerned about his child. And I get that, which is cool. But see, how you know that he doesn't have concern for the community is he is identifying other people's children as bad. Yeah, shame on you. So I know people, man, he a black man. He a police man. I know we need more black police officers. Shit.
Do not get in the car. He does the opposite. He gets in the car. He end up being in a car where they was swagging, and they had an incident where the car hit the other car, and they had an altercation. And the kid that owned the car said, "Hey, look, you're gonna give me my shoes." Mm-hmm. And one thing led to another, and so the kid eventually ran to the campus police chief and told him, said, "They robbed me. And of course, my son was in the car, and all of these kids end up going to jail that night, you know. And so when we have those,
guess what you just identified? You identified, number one, white supremacy. So how is your son put there? Not only that, though. I mean, do we really know what role his son actually played in this situation? I don't know. So it's kind of funny and ironic, isn't it? That, who are you calling bad kids when your son was arrested for doing bad shit? Yeah, I don't want you. It was because he was with these people. Shoot, for all we know, your son was the ringleader, man. Ooh wee. Yeah. These type of people have been a absolute detriment and constant danger to our community, hands down.
courageous conversation, we know what have happened in the past of all the incidents, the big concert that we had here in Houston, and different people traveling, going different places.
Hold on. You talking about Astro World? Family, for anybody who watched a lot of those videos, do you understand majority of that crowd was Hispanic? The majority of this Travis Scott Astro World concert tragedy, man, that place was filled with white folks and Hispanics. You got some black people sprinkled around in there and whatnot, but that was mostly white folks and Hispanics. The black people that were mostly there were the artists. So why did he throw them up there? Why did he throw them out there? What? I mean, because this is a security issue. There wasn't like just a bunch of violence out. That's not what happened in Astro World. Why did he throw that out there? Oh, it's because of that rap music that caused the deaths, I guess. Oh my goodness, dude. Oh man, you talk about, he reminded me like the sergeant off a soldier story. All that music making us look like monkeys. I mean, he's sounding like that. He's the one that's like that respectability politic crap. This man, see, that's just why they be doing this type of stuff because of Negroes like them. No, they do that because they hate you. And that's been a perpetual situation for 400 years. I mean, to even come out of your mouth and after all that the black folks have been through in this country to say that they need us to show and demonstrate anything to them for them to harm us. What the hell was you demonstrating when you were in slavery? I'm confused. I mean, boy, oh boy, the land of the lost.
They need to understand, hey, look, we got to keep our eyes open. We got to be alert, you know. And most of the time when you see a big crowd, especially in our community, a big crowd, they always say,
man, especially in our community. Wow. 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 And this is exactly why I saw this family. I'm like, wait, what? The title caught me. And then when I seen it, I'm like, hold on. Let me just run that back a few seconds. My Lord.
they need to understand, hey, look, we got to keep our eyes open. We got to be alert, you know. And most of the time when you see a big crowd, especially in our community, a big crowd, they always say there's a problem. There's not always a problem, because I have ran many parties out at Prairie View, and I'm telling you, the students cooperate, no problem. The problem have always been when those perpetrators come from out of town, come to the campus, and they have a whole agenda. Their purpose is totally different in having a good time. And so they have guns, and if you let them in the party without searching and all the stuff that take place, they in a arena where no one is being searched, everybody just walking up, all kinds of guns and things are in that crowd. And so we have to educate our children. Hey,
you know, this is, again, let me just remind you, we are talking about Houston, Texas. Since when are they against guns in Houston? Since when are they against guns in Texas? I mean, Texas, Arizona, Nevada, these are pro-gun states. But when it comes, especially our community, I mean, when it comes to our community, man, oh boy, oh yeah, them guns is horrible, boy, I tell you. And oh yeah, I carry a gun every day because I'm a police officer. I mean, so I got me a profession that has a gun. But that Second Amendment, right? Oh no, you shouldn't really be worried about that because you do understand what he's talking about is, well, all of these Second Amendment black folk, because he's not saying that everything's illegal. He's just telling you what he did right there, very quick and subtle, not so subtle, is they've been relating violence, and then violence and guns, and then guns, black folks, and crowds, and more violence. This is a shame.
look, look what's happening. People just firing a gun just because they got a gun. Anytime it's hyped and it's lit, kids get out of control.
And Claver.
Okay. Now, again, going back to the title of their panel, solutions to violence in the black community. All you have heard thus far is them calling the black community violent. And they need to go to church. And they have lost their way. And they from the world. And then other people out here, they go into riots which were actually protests. And then she went out there and whooped the hell out of her son. But I ain't advocating for violence. Oh my goodness. This is what we have come to, family. And I mean, come on. So we're almost through this. Oh, boy.
So the question is, how do you reach those who come who are not invited, those who are not in college, but they show up to spring break? How do you reach those? Because you can't just leave them out.
How do they do the white ones at other colleges? Because, I mean, it's not just the black ones. And not to mention, some of these things are happening, they're not even happening on campus of a college. They're happening in the streets. So what the hell are you talking about?
Like many of you saying, they're part of the problem, a big part of the problem. So how do you reach those individuals?
That is a question and a micro solution that needs to be addressed. I think to stop the epidemic of violence that we're seeing in the black community, the #2 cause of death in black America is black on black crime. We have to
Got to watch these old niggas.
How do you reach those? Because you can't just leave them out. Like many of you saying, they're part of the problem, a big part of the problem. So how do you reach those individuals?
That is a question and a micro solution that needs to be addressed. I think to stop the epidemic of violence that we're seeing in the black community, the #2 cause of death in black America is black on black crime.
You shade tree nigga.
We have to take a macro approach to it, to those 4 institutions and beyond, and having them, let's say, repent. The biblical definition would be turn 180 degrees. You see that whatever you're doing as far as steering our community, leading our community, it's not working.
Where's your family from?
The things that did work when blacks and the black community were prospering and there was much aspiration in the black community. Yeah, they were dealing with Jim Crow. Yeah, they were dealing with segregation and a lot of... The biblical definition would be turn 180 degrees. You see that whatever you're doing as far as steering our community, leading our community, it's not working. Wow. Go back to the things that did work when blacks and the black community were prospering and there was much aspiration in the black community. Yeah, they were dealing with Jim Crow. Yeah, they were dealing with segregation and a lot of racism. But the black community was still prospering economically, still prospering academically. The HBCUs were not laughing stocks. They were real institutions of deep academic achievement.
And to totally ignore that, like when you're, how are you going to talk about a Black Wall Street without discussing how it actually got destroyed? It did not get destroyed by rap music or by young black people and their drill music. That is not how it happened. So with that being said, brother,
Get up off of that cocaine and get up off of that crack. Get yourself together and get your mind back.
woo-wee.
If it's not working and what we're doing right now is not working, go back to what does work.
Dr. Ruth, let's bring you in to wrap it up for us.
I think that we have to have a place for our young people to go. I think we need to look at the model of Israel, where they have constriction, where when you're 18 years old, everyone, boys and girls, young men and women go into the service. We have some systems already set up. We have
what?
the Army, the Marines, the Navy. We have AmeriCorps. We have Job Corps. We have all these.
Oh my God! When I say treasonous, oh no, family. Okay, so now what they want that generation to do, if you're catching the play, the solution to violence in the black community is start having all of these young black boys head toward the military. Why? Because there's looming war on multiple fronts right now. And they need your sons' bodies out here. Because you know, y'all little young, unpatriotic Negro, you bang on one knee out there for George Floyd at those riots. Ooh, this woman here. So now y'all, I hope y'all seeing the Boule plays. What she is saying is, give your children up. Give your children up to the government. And let them go ahead and serve in the armed forces, that you might have somebody sleeping outside your house in a tent that is a war vet, and then you see how much love they show him. And this is what she wants you to go do with your children. See, and not only that though, I hope you are catching something, like in Israel. Oh, you mean like how they had in Vietnam? That's called a draft, ma'am. So what she is talking about is having, and she's not talking about for everyone. She's only talking about for black children. All of a sudden, they got real specific. Notice that there ain't no black and brown talking this. Ain't no people of color talking this. Ain't no minority talking this. That's how you know it's so extremely targeted. It's all black, 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 black. And they have not taken black off the screen. Black, the word black community has been, well, no, violence, black community has been on the screen the entire time. And solutions. And so when she's rapping, let's bring you in here to wrap it up. So, okay, so the Christian line, and then you got the policeman line. They're trying to get you spiritually patriotic. And then, yes, we have all these. So notice all the we and the patriot talk. We this and we that as a community. And we need to get back to what this was. Another thing about what was going on then. And you also got to remember, brother, the black men didn't get the benefits of that GI Bill. They just got a chance to go be GIs and die. No business money, no home money, no school. Come back here and go to work as a veteran. While all of your counterparts get schooling, housing, and business loan money. And she's telling you, yeah, we need to go back there. I mean, we need what in our community. So, see, she's not talking about we need to go get the little white kids and the little Asian kids and all of these new immigrants coming over here. The immigrants need to be on the front line. No. Let's let all of those refugees and immigrants come on here all illegally, all those invaders, those illegal invaders. Let all of them come in here. And then let's draft your children straight out of high school to go fight in this army. I'm going to play it one more last time, and we're about to get on.
People to go. I think we need to look at the model of Israel, where they have constriction, where when you're 18 years old, everyone, boys and girls, young men and women, go into the service. We have some systems already set up. We have the Army, the Marines, the Navy, we have AmeriCorps, we have Job Corps, we have all these things that are set up. If you don't want to go to college,
it's giving them something to do, something constructive and part of society where they're valuable.
Yes,
and some
structure, discipline, and guess what? They need to learn how to use weapons responsibly, because our country is flooded with them. And so good people need to know how to use them too, not just the knuckleheads.
All right. Thank you guys for joining us here on The Factor.
Now, why do you think that last part was thrown in there? Yeah, I think I hit the nail on the head with this one, family. That's exactly what this is about. So it's to start pushing a narrative in the Black community that, number one, the solution to all of our ills will be getting our young Black men and women, now they even want the females, getting you drafted directly on into one of the armed services, straight out of high school. So if you don't want to go to college, which of course you might not be able to afford to, and people are in debt over, and again, that's not even saying, see, she didn't even give the option of trade. Notice that. Notice trade and entrepreneurship not in this conversation. They want to streamline Black children once again. So, okay, now you parents ain't going to let your children just end up in prison. So what we're going to have to do is we got these looming wars and we need some bodies to get up in here and fight for all of these new Americans, because this new deal for new America that has no inclusion, they're setting up a replacement. I hope you are paying attention on that level. And guess what, family? It's all being done by the system of white supremacy, by the Democrats, and by the Republicans. But these people right here are mouthpieces for the Democrats. So I hope you understand that. As conservative as they are, this is still Democratic propaganda. And these are the people who you have in your community. And these are the voices that they want speaking for you. But I hope y'all understand, these people have a great disdain for the Black community. And how they are talking right here, like us, I always say that this generation ought to be ashamed of themselves for how they have done the future generations. And I guess this is more of a double down than anything to me. I mean, I don't know. Y'all let me know what you think down here in these comments below. But with that being said, these people, this is what goes on in their mind.
I believe we live in the freest, fairest land in the history of the world.
Yeah. And about that history?
The white man broke every law in the state and federal penal code system in order to establish every state in the United States.
And these people want you to groom your children to be good, obedient servants for that system. And want to streamline your children and your children's children into this system. And using Israel out of all places, which you have the police forces here that have been wreaking havoc on all these race soldiers going over to Israel to be trained how to over police the Black community. And here these people are saying, we need something like them. I mean, it's just all the way wrong. And that's simply because these people are
Shuffling and scratching and bootlicking and buck dancing.
Simple as that. Simple as that. So let me know what y'all think about this, family. And always remember when they talk about, man, you know, the Republicans is trying to do this to us and trying to do that. They trying to replace us. Oh, really?
This country is doomed. It is doomed, not just because of African Americans, but because by 2040, this country is going to be minority white European. Hear me? minority white European. And you guys are going to have to start working more with Hispanics, who make up a larger portion of the population than y'all do.
Hooey, Lord. So, yes, indeed. With that being said, family, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Please like and share this video. Please like and share this video. This has been a beatzillapdx official news break. And, and the break has came to an end. So you please follow me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at beatzillapdx. You can email me at ourrealtruth@gmail.com. And if you want to put some money in the bucket, you enjoy the content that you are getting here, and you would like to help support this channel, you can definitely do so by way of CashApp, $beatzillapdx, and also at PayPal at Zilla Muzak. That is ZILLAMUZAK. And yep. And of course, there's super thanks and super chat. So you can do those two things. You can also join this channel if you would like to, because you should already be subscribed. But if you haven't been subscribed to this channel yet, please do so at this time, and also hit that notification bell. So with that being said, y'all have a blessed day. Peace, power, blessings, and protection be upon all of you and yours. Stay black, stay vigilant, stay alive. Black first. Shalom, y'all.